the flame within, a wisdom from ancient Egypt of Sinuha. We all have days in a world full of noise and busyness when we no longer feel life. We breathe, we walk, but we do not live. This feeling is like a dormant fire that lives inside all of us. This is not just a story. It is a solution from the Sinuha to guide us on the right path. In the sacred stillness of ancient Egypt, where temples whispered secrets to the wind and stars carried the wisdom of the gods, there lived a healer whose touch awakened more than just the body. It stirred the soul. One day, in the Thebes, where the winds carried whispers from gods long forgotten, a young man named Keri wandered through the temple shadows. His eyes, once bright with dreams, now held the fog of confusion and despair. He had sought wisdom in scrolls, in rituals, in the noise of others' voices, but nothing quieted the storm inside her within. So, upon a whisper from an elder, he found his way to Sinuhe, the healer of the pharaoh, the man known not just for mending bodies, but for awakening something deeper. Young man arrived at Sinuha's humble dwelling outside Thebes. His eyes were clouded not by illness of the body, but of spirit. "I no longer feel life," he confessed. "I breathe, I walk, but I do not live." Sinuhe, whose fame as a healer had reached even the royal courts, studied the boy with quiet compassion. He saw no fever, no wound, only a deep absence, a disconnection. "Come," Sinuhe said simply. He handed Keri a cloak and led him beyond the walls of the city, toward the desert. They journeyed in silence through the desert until the stars took their place in the heavens and the sands gave way to stones. A narrow passage opened before them, an ancient cave known only to a few. Finally, they reached a cave hidden in a cliff, lit faintly by ancient carvings and the soft glow of burning oil burners. Inside the ancient cave, the air seemed to hum, not with sound, but with meaning. It's of silence that made one aware of every heartbeat. The darkness felt alive. The air was still, but heavy with presence. In the center of the cave sat a flat, smooth stone, warm, as if the earth herself breathed through it. Sinuhe sat beside him and finally spoke. "You've been searching for light outside, when the flame was buried within all along." Sinuhe gestured for Keri to sit across from him, their knees almost touching. He told to close his eyes and to listen, not to him, but to the silence. Minutes passed, then slowly, Keri felt it, but from somewhere deep inside, it was faint, like the pulse of forgotten strength. Sinuhe placed a hand over Keri's heart and whispered, "What you feed with belief grows. Doubt dims the flame. Stillness will let it speak. No potions, no chants, just presence." On the second night, Sinuhe placed a small bowl full of water, completely still, in front of the young man and said, "This is what your mind should become. Still water reflects the sky. A stirred surface reflects only distortion." Keri watched that the water in the bowl quivered from his own breath. "How can I still the waters of my mind?" he asked. Sinuhe smiled softly and whispered, "You do not fight the ripples. You watch them. You breathe with them. And slowly, they quiet themselves. Close your eyes. Feel the breath, not as something you do, but something that moves through you. It's not just air, it's the rhythm of the source. Minutes passed. Carrie's breath became slower, deeper. Sinuha leaned in, voice barely above a whisper. There is a fire at the center of your being. Most never feel it. They drown it in noise, in fear, in the weight of past and future. But it waits. Breathe into it, not with your lungs, but with your presence. Let it rise. And Carrie did. At first, there was only quiet. Then, a flicker. A sense of warmth not from the cave, nor the sun, but from a depth he hadn't known existed. He didn't understand it, but he didn't need to. Sinuha sat back, nodding. This is not the end of your learning. It is the beginning. You are not healed in a moment, but awakened to the healer within. As dawn broke over the cave's entrance, Carrie opened his eyes, not to a changed world, but with new eyes to see it. The chaos within had quieted, not because of answers found, but because he'd remembered to ask the right questions. Inward. There are lessons written not in books, but in breath and silence, in the unseen. Let the story of Sinuha remind you that the fire within waits for no ritual, only recognition. If you felt something stir within as you listened, perhaps it's time you too walked into your own cave of stillness. The path inward may be the farthest one you ever walk, but it's the only road that leads home. If this story awakened something within you, share it and join us as we explore the ancient path of inner energy and healing.